Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Queen's Wish. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today as we go into the most scary place in this game. It's, well, not the most, one of the most, which is a city. It's Nakala over here. And it's scary because it's a big undertaking, talking to all these people, processing all their information, and the journal system is only ever so vague. I have a bunch of quests, and I don't know what to do with half of them. Let's let's explore. They will respect us, says this Ukatish town person, I think. You enter a hall where a shaman is leading a congregation in a ceremony of some sort. As the townsfolk stand and kneel in two lines, she is leading them in some sort of litany of hate. Also, there's the whole Ukatish thing about them apparently being hateful, even though they're super friendly. And also, they don't have a reason to be friendly or to be hateful. So, anyway, she is listing crimes against the Ukatish people, big and small, going back centuries. As she recites, the people grumble and nod. Most of the offenders are Achriel and Vol. That's so funny that it's not Haven. Actually, Haven probably has a very short history, all things considered, with the Ukatish. But still, it's funny that it's not Haven. A few are from the northern Ukatish clans. After a few minutes of this, she looks at you and gives a little nod. You can go and speak with her. I mean, it would make sense in a game that had us give a healing potion to a person who didn't have a healing potion, because apparently in this country they don't have healing potions, and apparently that's supposed to make us good, the fact that we gave a healing potion. In a game like that, it probably makes sense that these wouldn't have any gripes with the people that colonized them. The Haven, I mean. The shaman notices you, but she continues her service. You watch for a while. Didn't she invite me to talk? Either way, she talks about the arrogance of the Achriel, the cruelty of the Vol. She extols the hard work, hardiness, and endless virtues of the Ukatish people. After half an hour of this, she tells her flock to kneel, rest, and contemplate. Then she walks back into her alcove and motions for you to join her. I am Shaman Alton. Lord Ake told me to speak with you. You were told to speak with me? Is that what you mean? Yes, the Ake want relations with Haven. It is, not in the nice way, by the way, the political way. It is their decision. Politics are not my realm. I have never met a Havenite. Now I have. I hope you will not give us reason to put you in my services. She wears ceremonial Ukatish swamp leather. You note mud smears all over the chest, because they don't have clean water. That's why everybody's dirty, because they can't wash, and they certainly don't have dry sand, which is the other way of washing, is either with sand or with water. But as far as I know, anyway, is there any other way of washing things? I'm thinking. Let's address that. You have some mud on your chest. I'm sorry, I'm looking at your chest. I know your eyes are up there. I am from Haven, so may I be forgiven for my everything. Shaman Alton takes a deep breath. Yes, it is intentional. The Ukatish are a dirty mud people. Folk of the swamps, have you not heard? I am proud of it. I am a woman of the swamps. I don't care about your judgment. Sure. What do you think of Haven? My work is my people, keeping their spirits strong. I think about them. I don't think about you at all, unless I am told to. That is short-sighted, but sure. You are a shaman of the Ukatish. I am, but don't make too many conclusions. The Ukat is full of shamans, many different sorts with many purposes. What sorts? There are hedge mages who use the ways of nature to help the townsfolk to earn their keep. There are swamp shamans who wander our lands and convince nature to be kind to their people. There are healing shamans and court shamans, war shamans and lore keeper shamans. What sort of shaman are you? I am a spirit shaman. I tend to the spirits of the people. I keep them strong. How do you tend to the spirits? by fueling their rage, not their hatred. Anger, not their hatred, is the daily bread of the Ukatish. The other people of the world rob us and raid us and mock us, and let our fury fuel us. Life in the Ukat. That is so weak and so dumb. It is again. It is so dumb. The other people of the world rob us and raid us and mock us. That is so dumb. Come on, Jesus Christ. No, seriously. That's the shared experience of every. Well, it's complicated. Modern day, it's more complicated. But think of anything prior to the modern age. Let's just go with that. The modern age being the advent of firearms and cannons and stuff like that. Yeah, every country has that experience of the other people of the world, all between quotations, robbing them and raining them and mocking them. And we're supposed to, objectively speaking, what this game is portraying them as, it's not as hateful people, even though it uses the word hate, even though it's clearly not meant to be. I think whenever it uses hate, it's a mistranslation, because rage and anger are different things than hate. But they can seem hate if you're the target of the rage and the anger, for sure. They can seem hateful, but righteous hate is what rage and anger would be considered, not hate. And hate and righteous hate are not overlapping in the whole Venn diagram thingy. Anyway, what the game is portraying them as is as super entitled and super fragile, and being like, oh no, they declare themselves a different country from us. How dare them? They're not actually saying that, but it would be just as fragile. Of course they, they rob you and raid you. Yes, the world sucks. Everybody's like, this, it's just, there's wars and whatnot. Do you see what the other ones do to themselves? What are the name of the Vol? Yeah, yeah. You're lucky that they don't enslave you. You're lucky that they don't come in here and declare this land your freaking land and take you away, or actively kill you, or both, and erase all of your identity and everybody that you are, and separate you from your family, and then you stop being your country in the first place, and you just scatter all over the world. Now that would be an analogy to real life. And it still wouldn't be correct and good, because if there's one thing that victims of, well, not all victims of slavery, but at least in the United States, which I realize Jeff is not from the United States, but still, the Jeff Fowle, I mean, but still, like, love would be the thing, not hate. They wouldn't be characterized by hate. They would be characterized by love, because if there's one thing that you can tell, if you do the list amount of studies about people that are descendants of slaves and slaves themselves, is just the overwhelming examples of love in the face of such hatred, and by hatred here being the European colonizers and slavers. It's the love. So it wouldn't even work then if they were indeed, invaded and enslaved and erased and genocided. So it's just dumb. These people are effectively, they're the biggest snowflakes in the world. They're like, I can't stand the fact that we are not, foreigners invade us, or raid us, I should say. It's not even invade us, they specifically mean raid us. So they steal their stuff. Basically, foreigners they don't mention about their own stealing each other's stuff, although she did, because she mentioned the clans from the north. But still, foreigners come in here and they rob our leaves, or whatever they proudly wear, mud. They rob their mud, because that's another thing that they're being characterized as, is proud of mud. I mean, it's totally fine for you to be proud of mud. Like, objectively speaking, in a fantasy setting, there are some other undertones that I don't know how to interpret them, honestly, but still. And she says hate, but let's just, for the sake of me not rambling, because I think I've done a pretty good job at explaining my point of view regarding this, so I don't think you need to hear more of that. We're good, but at least in regards to the things that we've seen so far. She says, Life in the the Ucat swamps is hard. We struggle. We die early. Sometimes our rage is the only thing that can get us out of bed in the morning. Is deranging your people with rage really productive? Oh, we would all love to enjoy the wealth and power of Haven. The beauty of the. Which stands in the face of them being proud of. I mean, it doesn't, but it you need to compare that line with the line that she said before, where they are muddy on purpose, even though they would enjoy to have the wealth of Haven, so they could have more mud or something. I don't, whatever. The beauty of the Hachriel woods, the dry. Yeah, you haven't been there. The dry warmth of the Vol. You all think you are better than us. Here, our land tries to kill us at every turn. Oh, which is, again, biggest snowflakes in the world. The other lands do the same, and they definitely do the same. Like, more than this one. This one doesn't even. I mean, it has ghosts, I suppose. That's fair enough. I mean, if my land had ghosts, I'd be pretty upset as well. But, like, the Ariel. Well, the Ariel doesn't actually try to kill the people from there, but it is pretty dangerous. The deserts definitely try to kill the people. They put it into their philosophy of the deserts being mean, and that's why they're prideful or something. I don't know. It's just some nonsense that I remember vaguely. This is the Hall of Remembrance. What do you remember? We remember crimes. We have borne the brunt of centuries of contempt by the people of Sacramentum. We remember all the vengeance we have yet to take. To be Ukatish is to be insulted by our decadent rivals, who have rev counters on their cars or something. Why are they decadent? Because they wear nice slippers and just read color picture newspapers or something. Who pretend they are better. Insulted, huh? They call us mud people, even though you called yourself that. I mean, it's fine for you to call yourself that, but you're. Yeah, it's not. You're not retaking any slurs or anything. It's just that's just a contradiction, honestly, because she called herself that. And while if this were indeed a similar thing to real life counterparts, then I suppose it would be there could be some sort of like reclaiming a slur or reclaiming an insult or taking pride in your identity or whatever. There's many ways of looking at it, and as she being aggrieved by them being called mud people, which she should be, honestly, but at the same time being proudful of them calling them mud people. Yeah, this just doesn't work. Like, I think the game is trying to actively push this into a analogy to real life, but it's just so shoddy and so ham-fisted and so I don't even. It's like simple swamp folk, even though she said that. Uncultured, dirty, and dull. They tell lies about, even though that is the truth, according to her own words. They tell lies about us, our intelligence, our morals, our families. Yeah, welcome. Yes, how the world works. That is, yeah, that's why there's wars. It's the othering of people. It's just like French people look. I'm not thinking of any particular conflict, but French people looking at Italian people and being like, "Oh no, they are uncultured." Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest one actually. It's they lack intelligence. Yeah, that's pretty common tropes. Their morals are wrong or something. Didn't they get like a war because of France and Italy because of Yeah, they did because of it was in the 1400s. Because of the Pope or something or other. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. Our families, apparently, that's also... They would insult the Italians and vice versa, the French, because of their family. Ah, look at all those Italians and their families. Ugh. You know what I mean? They are just words. Oh, yeah, the best example of I mean, in this case, it actually... Well, it doesn't work, because she specifically said that they get rated. But they're just words and rating. It's just... Yeah, they are being portrayed as snowflakes. But... It also has the implications of meaning that words don't have power. And when it's about different countries, then, yeah, words have... little power, Well, they don't. It's not the same. But when it's in, say, inside the same community, then words have a lot of power, and every one of us knows that firsthand. Even though we might not be in the receiving end of words, but we know how much power they are because the reason words are powerful is because they together, obviously, with other words, and in a context of a generalized um, culture, in a culture setting, in any what I mean culture is I mean like whatever country you are, your words uh, will contribute to the culture that they're intended for. So if, for example, let's say you live in a country that had slavery 10 years ago, but now it doesn't anymore. It doesn't have anymore. But you still call every person that was a slave. You don't even need to get racial undertones in this because this works any other way. But especially when you get a racial aspect to this, it gets even more obvious. But if you call every person that was a slave, you still call them a slave, then you're actively contributing to a culture that shames and mistreats the people who were victims of slavery. Why is that a problem, and how does that bear power? Well, it bears power in a society that actually values perception of people. So those people who you are calling slaves and contributing to a culture where people call ex-slaves slaves, you're contributing to a culture that, for example, is not going to employ them for public-facing jobs, or maybe just not going to give them the right amount of money for the job that they do, or maybe is going to contribute to neighborhoods where there's more of them to be treated as people who have less jobs or worse jobs, or criminalize them and stuff like that, or maybe allow for politicians that want to criminalize them to go into power because more people call them slaves, or allow them for those politicians to create laws that allow for the institution of systems that treat them as lower class citizens and other stuff that is just I don't need to explain this, do I? Words have power, not necessarily in this setting, but they have power. In this setting, that it's rating. It's not just words. It's easy for you to say that. Haven is rich and powerful. Oh, you're now realizing that, are you? Well, you should have realized that before. I can, because, I mentioned, anyway. You can afford to ignore words. No, I can't, actually. That is, I super cannot. I super cannot. The biggest danger. That is also, I mean, for sure, the shaman here wouldn't have a deep, she clearly does not have a deep understanding of pretty much anything, but she wouldn't have a deep understanding of power dynamics in regards to colonialism and imperialism. But that's another aspect where words have a lot of power. And, yeah, it's it's the fight against the powerful. It's where words have a lot of power, because you see, people who are not powerful and not rich, they don't usually have a lot of stuff. They definitely don't have the armies under them, and they don't have a lot of land. They don't have a lot of anything really, because they're not rich and powerful. But they have their word, and if they share their word, and especially if they share their plights and share their problems with each other, and if people start to understand how the rich and the powerful are diametrically opposed to, and this is pretty obvious when I say it like this, but it is, the poor and the powerless. If the poor and the powerless start talking, then the rich and the powerful aren't going to be rich and powerful for much longer. So it's very important for rich and the powerful to, especially in the context of imperialism and colonialism, it's very important for rich and powerful to control the words that are spoken, and that is the context that justifies what we see throughout history. For example, throughout history and in modern day. But I was gonna say examples, but specifically regarding censorship, I can speak from my experience. Portugal was an imperial country for 5 centuries or something like that, and up until the 20th century, and we always had censorship in the sense of like inquisition. Well, not always. Well, it's kind of complicated. When the Republic was founded, the Inquisition was removed. I think like 2 or 3 years into the Republic existing. I don't actually don't remember the dates very well because one of the remnants of the imperialism here in Portugal is that you're not taught any of this stuff in school, and it's just not just here in Portugal. It's basically in any ex-imperial country or actual imperial country, but you're not taught that in school because again, words are very powerful, and you don't want people to know this stuff because they talk. But still, the point is, there's censorship. There's the repression of freedom of the press. There's the control of the press specifically. There's the shaping of news, and you observe this all throughout history, like to a dot, like to a T. It's exactly this over and over again because it's so very powerful public perception in imperial contexts. And the reason isn't that they require the public perception to be good for an imperial system to work. No, they don't. They don't require the public perception to be good. It helps, for sure, in certain contexts, but it's not really required. What is required is the absence of people revolting against what you're doing. And that's why you see things like the apartheid in South Africa crumbling after years of manifestations and protests, both inside South Africa and the fights and of course the people who fought for it. I'm just saying as an example, obviously, and as well as outside, because words are very powerful. Words are very powerful, especially for the rich and powerful, or rather, against the rich and powerful. And propaganda. I didn't even talk about propaganda. Propaganda is such an important tool for the rich and powerful, because that's how they prevent other people from having words. She says, "We are poor and life is hard. Our pride." Oh, fucking hell. I'm sorry. I swore. Anyway. It's even worse. I didn't need to swear. I'm sorry. Anyway, the game doesn't swear. That's why I don't need to swear. But we have seen that word used for the Ukatish. It shouldn't be a surprise, but it is. Anyway, our pride is all we have. If you attack that, you are trying to destroy us. Yes, and if I don't, I'm not trying to destroy you. Because, as I said before, performative allyship is the only allyship that matters. It's the giving you a potion because you don't have potions, while at the same time ensuring that you don't have potions. So I can keep giving you potions so that you think I am the savior, even though I am the one responsible for you not having potions in the first place. It's not really what the message the game is trying to say, but yeah, that's yeah. This is why the cities are infuriating. The shaman Alton moves among her flock, speaking to them, reassuring them, embracing those who have lost family, encouraging others to remember the crimes of other lands that left the Ukatish poor and desperate. Occasionally she takes a minute to continue to speak with you. The Ukatish have a treaty with Haven. Yes, signed before most of us were born. Not properly respectful of us, since Queen Shireen made the Vol her favored vassal. But yes, a treaty. Lord Ake wants me to support our vassalage. I am unsure. Don't worry, you're dumb as bricks. You're gonna be sure by the end of this conversation. We can be useful allies to you. Shaman Alton thinks on this. There is a place northwest of here on the west coast. Take the road north to Ganelspan and turn west. It is called Mist Maze. Go there, learn something of our people, and then return. Tell me about Mist Maze. It sounds like a superhero. That region of the swamp is haunted. It has been for all Ukatish memory. All the Ukatish swamp is haunted. It is a place of shades and fog. The Mist Maze is the core of the haunting. It keeps our secrets close and defends them from all, even us. I don't need to judge you. It will judge you. For me. What can we learn there? Something about the nature of the Ukatish. You must convince the spirits there to talk. Take the gift they give you and bring it back to me. I have been to the Mist Maze. I figured I had. And? What did you learn, Prince? I learned how to sing a song. You begin to sing the Spirit's song. After Only a few words, the shaman begins to sing along, and then the entire congregation joins you. When you are done, Shaman Alton looks shocked. That song is a private thing, a secret of our people. How did never mind? It is our secret, not mine. Your secret, not mine. No, it is your. You just said it is a secret of your people. How is it my secret? Shut up. I know what she means. She means how did, and she doesn't finish the sentence, but the implied thing is there. How did you find this secret? And that is my secret, not the secret of their people. How they anyway. Well, it's just confusing for no reason. What do you think of Haven now? I think it is not my place to say. I think we are still a free people, and it is our decision whether the contract is obeyed. But you have some authority. I will spread the word. Your people will have fewer problems with our warriors. My word is not all, but it has some influence. Well, I guess that's all. And we gained a little bit of experience. And a few more not white hairs, gray hairs. It is so weird. It is so weird. Anyway, we're out of time for the day, so we're going to continue in the next episode. For right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Queen's Wish. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.